Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Meanahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com.
Hey people, today we're going to take a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called Robots Love Ice Cream, the card game from 25th Century Games. Now, if you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. There will be links in the top corner of your screen as well as down in the description section underneath this video. Those links will take you to the page. You can find out more information than I could possibly tell you here, and hopefully you'll consider backing the project. Now, if this game sounds familiar, it is, of course, because it is based off of a video game called Robots Love Ice Cream from the company Dragon Army. And the premise is the same. You and the other players are trying to stop these nefarious spin-stin alien robot things from stealing all of the world's ice cream. You need to work together and play your own weaponized ice cream cards in order to defeat the Spinstins and their robot armies from planet to planet, rescuing the ice cream, getting Sprinkletonium in order to help you along, and for points at the end as well. And that's the thing, is that even though you are all trying to defeat these armies and hordes of robots together, there's going to be only one grand champion amongst all of you, assuming you get to that point and fend off the aliens and rescue enough ice cream. So let me go ahead and give you a brief look at how the game is played with a prototype version of the game. So keep that in mind. What you see here in this preview copy may be different than what's in the final version, but then we're going to come back and we'll discuss it further.
Robots Love Ice Cream, the card game, is a semi-cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. You will try to save ice creams from 5 different planets. At the end of the 5th planet, if you have saved at least 10 of the 13 ice creams, you and the other players share a group victory. Additionally, at that point, the player with the most points becomes the champion of the galaxy. Every ice cream is worth 2 points, and every Sprinkletonium is worth 1 point. Every player gets an ice cream truck with slots for upgrades, game effect cards, and a reminder of the turn order. Depending on the number of players, you'll take a certain set of planet cards, stacked in order from 1 to 5. A set of 3 Spin-Stin Beam track cards are arranged near the play area, with the first one flipped to the side with a man and ice cream. This is merely a round tracker, and as you proceed through the 3 rounds of each planet, you will flip the current card down and flip the next card over to the man side. Every player gets 7 weaponized ice cream cards. Several other decks of cards are shuffled and placed near the game area for now, along with Spin-Stin cards and the ice cream tokens. One player is randomly chosen as the start player. The game is played over the course of 5 planets, each one consisting of 3 rounds. Each round is split into 2 phases, the player phase and the robot phase. Each player will take a turn, and then the robots will attack. First, you must prepare the planet. Look at the top planet card and place the appropriate Spinstins out as indicated at the top of each column. Then, draw random robots as indicated and place them underneath each Spinstin. Robots and Spinstins come in different varieties, and they each have several notable stats, including a defense value, Sprinkletonium rewards when you defeat them, and an attack ability. Place ice cream tokens on the bottom of the Spin-Stin beam track, equal to the number of Spinstins, either 2 or 3. Going in clockwise order, each player will complete their turn. First, you draw 2 weaponized ice cream cards and then choose one from your hand to discard. Then you can fire your ice cream weapons at a robot occupying the lowest position of one of the columns. To do this, you must discard a number of cards of the same type equal to the robot's defense, which forces it to be discarded. Brain freeze cards are wild and can count as any other ice cream type for this purpose. After you're finished, you collect Sprinkletonium cards equal to the robot or Spinstin's reward. Additionally, defeating Spinstins lets you take 1 ice cream token from the bottom Spin-Stin beam track card. Sprinkletonium is not only victory points at the end of the game, but you can choose to discard 1 before you end your turn to refill your hand up to 7 cards. After every player has taken their turn in a similar fashion, the robots attack. You go row by row, starting from the bottom and going from left to right, activating each of their attack abilities. These can be things like forcing the players to discard Sprinkletonium or other cards, or moving to other columns to block the Spinstins from attacks. After that, the ice cream tokens move to the next Spin-Stin beam card, which is flipped over for the next round, and you do it all again. If there are any ice cream tokens left, that is. If not, you're ready for a new planet. If it's the end of the third round and there's still ice cream tokens left on the beam track, they're instead removed from the game, and the remaining robots escape as you move on to the next planet. Before that, players have a chance to buy upgrades or effects cards from the store. 3 boost cards are drawn and placed face up. Players can take turns spending Sprinkletonium to buy upgrades and install them on your truck. These are essential to winning the later planets, which get progressively more difficult. You may get damage boosters, discounts for future purchases, defensive shields, and so on and so forth. Every time one card gets purchased, a new one replaces it. You may also spend a Sprinkletonium to wipe out the cards and put 3 new ones out. After purchasing, players can take those cards and equip 2 upgrades to your truck, and any number of effect cards that say they remain in play. Then, the first player card passes to the next player, and you proceed with setting up a new planet. Keep going until you've completed the 5th and final planet. Now, of course, anyone who has played the video game version of Robots Love Ice Cream is going to already like the theme, is going to be interested in how that can translate to the tabletop. So you already have an in that regard. But I think that even for players who aren't familiar with the base material, there's a very interesting theme here, a very lighthearted one with very bright, catchy graphics to go alongside that to help it along. And it's also very interesting gameplay as well, because I think that for a lot of games that were originally something else, whether it's video games, TV shows, whatever the case might be, there's this temptation to just take that license, that theme, slap it onto a very simple game, and then there it is. And there's not a lot to it. It could have been any kind of theme, whatever. But there was definite care and work put into making this feel as close to the video game as possible and actually making it into an interesting card game, not just one with the license slapped onto it. So you have the whole aspect of how it is everyone working together, but there's going to be the grand champion at the end, and then you're going through wave after wave of the Spinstons and robots that they're leading from planet to planet. It gets progressively more difficult. You can get upgrades for your ice cream truck ship and special card effects as well, and you're all buying them together. So you have all these really interesting aspects to it, so that it's not just straightforward, just throws whatever card down randomly and then go to the next player. But at the same time, while you have all these interesting decisions to make and things that you can do, it's actually a relatively simple game in that it's very fast to learn, it's very fast to teach to someone else, and very straightforward. So you easily can get into it and know this is what we're supposed to do. There's not a lot of clutter. It's a very straightforward design, but again, along the way, you are making important decisions. Like, okay, I have to very carefully decide, what cards I'm going to hold on to. I'm not going to be able to destroy a robot this turn, but maybe next turn I'll be able to, and hopefully my compatriots will be able to as well before things get escalate and get too out of hand. And that's another interesting thing about the game, is that the urgency of the game. You only have 3 rounds per planet to make it work, to get as much ice cream as possible. And if you don't rescue enough ice cream, eventually you're just all toast before it even gets to the point where there's going to be one winner. So you need to be helping each other out. You need to be picking up the slack whenever someone else drops it. So lots of cool stuff going on here, and also the fact that it's got really bright, colorful graphics, even in just this prototype version that I have. So if you are a fan of the original video game, if you just like light, straightforward games with a lot of heavy decisions, but also an interesting semi-cooperative aspect to it, you definitely want to check out Robots Love Ice Cream, the card game. It's up on Kickstarter right now. You don't have too much time left. Follow the link in the top corner of your screen or down in the description section of this video. Those links will take you to the page, find out more information, and hopefully consider backing the project. That is Robots Love Ice Cream, the card game from 25th Century Games. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting our sponsors. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.